Hi, Neil here with Covers Camo, your source for custom seat covers. Today we're showing you how to install the seat covers on the 2019 Toyota Tacoma. This set happens to be the multicam black for the insert and trim, loaded up with headrest logos, the deer logos, also driver and passenger MOLLE pockets, also a driver pistol holster with some of the custom options on here. We're doing front and back seat covers. Let's jump into this install. All right, so we're getting started on this install. This is the 2019 Toyota Tacoma, and the first piece that we're going to do is the console lid. And so this set of seat covers, we're doing the multicam black for insert and trim for both rows, front and back, loaded up with the deer logos on here, looking really nice. And I've already done the driver's seat, backrest, bottom, headrest. Also the rear 40 section is a smaller one, just because those install the same methods as the other seats on the other side. But what we're going to do right now is the console lid cover. Okay, so it goes like this. This elastic piece right here is going to go towards the front up here. And we get this stretched on, and I'll actually start with this back portion first. Hook that back portion around like that. There's going to be elastic on the sides here. Okay, so we're going to make sure we get that pulled around like that right there. And really on this console lid, it's really just the elastic and the way that it hooks around the back and then around the corners here that keeps it on. There's not any additional Velcro straps on this one. As long as you get it hooked around the sides, that's going to stay on nice and tight right there. Okay, so that is how you do this console lid right there. And now we're actually going to move into the passenger backrest, passenger bottom, and then headrest. Show you those pieces next here. So the next piece that we're going to be doing is the passenger bottom. Again, this installs just about the same way as the driver bottom, except for one piece, and the driver has this lumbar knob, and there's a cutout for that. So that's the one piece that's different. And when we get to that spot, I'll show you a little clip on how that will install there. First thing you're going to want to do is untie the drawstring out here. It's just nice having these untied to fit them through where we need to. And then this is the one part of the cover that you may want to wear some gloves, just because we're going to be pushing this Velcro portion back here through the seat backrest and bottom. It's nice to have gloves there. Also, you can take note as well, this is the passenger MOLLE pocket. We also have a pocket over on the driver's side. That's designed to carry a pistol on the inside of this pocket. We'll show that some more in the review video here. But you can put a pistol on the inside and carry gear on the outside. So let's get this on here. And what we're going to do is fit this into place. Again, we already saw the label that this is the passenger. Also, our driver had the driver pistol holster down here. So I also know that's the driver over there. Okay, so what we're going to do is fit this into place here. Take this draw cord around the outside like that. That just goes, and that goes on the outside of this seatbelt portion. So the full outside of the seat, that's where that draw cord goes. Now, I'm just going to start fitting it into place before I push through any straps, things like that. The other thing that you're going to want for this part of this install is the provided install tool. Okay, it's nice to have a little plastic tool. It's kind of like almost like a little plastic butter knife. And what you'll do with this is we will tuck in the cover to the plastic on the inside of the plastic right up here. And that will give us a nice finished look. And the Tacoma on manual seats like this, this is a dream install. This is actually really not a bad install at all when it's manual seats, because, or in general, manual seats are nice because you don't have as many electrical cables or cords that you're trying to work around. Okay, so now that we've got that tucked in a little bit, the other thing we'll do is take this string right here, this drawstring, and this needs to go on the inside, right down here. So it's on the inside of this plastic. Yeah, on the inside of this plastic and on the outside of this seat cushion right here. So we'll pass that down. This is part where I usually take the gloves off and the handle into this one. Okay, so I'm gonna pass that through. You can see I passed that down right in there. And then I'm gonna take the trim tool and tuck that in right there. Just gonna smooth that out right there. Okay, so right here is where I'm going to show you how it's a little different on that driver's side around that lumbar knob. So here's this driver bottom, a little bit different than the passenger side. You can see that there is this lumbar knob right here. And so what you're going to do is just tuck the seat cover around that, and then this string is going to go underneath right here. You're going to tuck that up, and then also tuck these pieces in right here like that. And then also this piece will go on the inside of this handle right there like that. And then this drawstring is actually going to, instead of going around like that, you can actually tuck it on the inside of the seat cushion right down here where my finger is. Okay, so you're going to push that down around the back and then tie it up like we did the other side. So here's this string I've passed through right there now. There's just like that right there. And then you're going to finish just kind of tucking that in, smoothing that out. And this is how it's going to fit around this lumbar knob right there. It should look like this when you get it all tightened down right there. All right, so back to this passenger seat. We're going to continue with this. So this drawstring right here, that's going to pass around to the back, and we're going to tie it up with that other side, that other drawstring that we passed around over there. But before we do that and move to the back here, what we're going to do is take this portion, push that through the seat backrest and bottom. This is again where I like to wear gloves. Nice wearing gloves on this. Now one trick too is if that gets tight, it's really not too tight on these Tacomas, but if that's getting tight on whatever truck you're doing this install on, you can take the plastic bag that the seat covers came in, wrap that bag around that edge of the seat, or edge of the seat cover, and then push that through and it'll decrease the friction. All right, so we've moved to the back side of this passenger seat now, and you're gonna see that here's that outside string here, here's the inside string that we passed through. Those are gonna tie up shortly. But first off, there's this backside seat bib is what it's called. There's just kind of a flap. And this is gonna be hooked underneath. And what you're gonna need to do is reach underneath the seat, and there's these little plastic clips that you're gonna push forward, and then they unclip off of these little metal bars that they're hooked onto this little metal bar. So you just reach underneath and unclip those, okay? And then you can take this up, and we could even tuck it in like that. Just kind of keep this up out of the way for now. And that's gonna then give you access to the backside here, which is really nice to have this full access. Some vehicles, that's a little harder to remove the bib, but on these Tacomas, super easy. And so now what we're gonna do is there's these buckles and straps that are gonna come from the front and come back, but then there's also a center buckle right here. This is called our locking strap or safety strap. And this one right here, what this is gonna do is this is gonna go down underneath to a solid bar and then back to itself and go onto that buckle and just make sure that that seat cover never slides forward. It's gonna lock it down. Just super nice having this one to lock that seat cover from ever sliding forward. So I went underneath to a solid bar. You're not going to want to go around like an electrical cable or anything like that. Just go to a solid bar. You can feel these kind of solid metal springs underneath your seat. I'm going to go to that bar, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to this middle buckle right here, and we're going to go through the middle slot right there, and then the outside slot right here with the teeth on it. And then we'll really lock this one down nice and good, because that is a big piece of what keeps this seat cover from never sliding around. Guarantee that it's gonna stay place when you get this locking strap locked in right here. Okay, so we got that locked down now. So that's nice. That's good and locked down right there now. They can feel that. And then what we're gonna do is we can actually tie up these strings right now, and then the last little bit is we're going to take those outside straps and come back to these buckles right here. But these strings is what we'll tie up next. So to tie this drawstring around here, now I first tie a noose in one side on this one right here, and then I take the other drawstring, come around it right here, and then we're going to pull that nice and tight. And really the one that I like to pull on is right here. I pull straight back on it like that, and then once I've pulled back as much as I want to pull back, once it's nice and taut, then I'll make that corner right there. If you pull really hard at a 90-degree angle on this corner, every now and then you can shear the string. But if you just pull straight back like that and then make that 90-degree right there, and then what you'll do is pull out that excess right here, pinch it with one hand right there, and then tie it off with the other hand right there, and then finish tying that off. So now we're back on the front side of this passenger bottom, and what we need to do is take these straps and pass them to the back. Then we're going to take those buckles, once these are passed to the back, and tighten them up. Now one thing to note is, as you're passing to this back, go as tight to the seat as you can, avoiding as many cables and bars. Like, you don't want to go around this bar. Go up above that bar, as close to the bottom of the seat as you can as you're passing that back there. So once you've passed these straps back to the buckles, weave them through just like we did that middle buckle, and then pull that nice and tight right there. What I like to do is I like to pull that nice and tight, and then also pass that strap up towards the front, because sometimes what I can do is compress down on the front of the seat while I finish like another little snug as I'm pulling that back here. So I'll tighten that down and then pass those straps back towards the front again. Now, this wouldn't be super necessary for you to do this, but I do like doing it when I can. I will like put my chest or one hand on this, compress the seat down, and then reach with my other hand underneath, grab that end of the strap and pull it forward. I did do that on this one. Again, not completely necessary. It's still gonna be a nice tight fit if you don't do that last little bit, but sometimes I can snug it down just a little bit more when I do that. All right, so it's time to do the backrest now. And what we're gonna do is take the headrest out as our first step, because we need to free that up to get the backrest on. Just put the headrest away for the minute, and then start getting this backrest pulled over. So here's the backrest cover. Here's the front, and then here's the back side. Right here, what we're gonna do is get this opened up down here like this, okay? And you can see that foam padding, foam backing on that side right there. The back and sides won't have that same foam backing, but all the seating areas are gonna have that. So you can see that's the front of it. And then here's the post cutouts, the cutouts for the headrest posts as well. This is the airbag compatible section. This is always going to go on the outside of the seat, so because the airbags deploy on the outside, like if you were to get in a wreck and somebody just hit you on the side there. So we'll get that pulled over like this. I'm gonna get it lined up here with the headrest post sections. Then I'm gonna take my trim tool and work that around that headrest post right there, and then tuck that underneath. So it should finish out like that. Right there, we'll do the same thing with this one. Great. Okay, so that section's done there. Now what we're gonna do is gonna straighten that out and then take this section right here and actually push that through the seat crack there, the backrest and bottom. Now as you're doing that, there is a cable for your airbag, and that's why there's a split in this right here. So you do want to be careful as you're pushing that through. If you feel some resistance, like a cable giving you resistance, don't try to push through that. But we'll push that back and then I'll give you a view on the back side, what that's going to look like here. So this is what it looks like initially right here with how much I've pushed through. What I want to do is even this out, finish pulling that out right here. So kind of get that unstuck, and we're going to give this a nice tight pull. And then we're going to take this felt and stick it to this Velcro right here. This is the new attachment method, new install method. George designed this. Much easier to install compared to the old method of you used to have to do a bunch of elastics underneath the seats. It was always all kind of annoying, but much better install method here. And here is your cable right here. That what we're gonna do is there's that split in the felt right there. So you're gonna go around that. And then this cable going up right here, and I actually think this yellow one is your airbag cable right here. That I actually think this might be a heated seat cable on this one. And anyhow, so what we're gonna do though is take this right here, and there's enough play in this yellow cable that we're actually just gonna take that felt and stick that down to the Velcro, essentially above it right here, like that, right there, after we've given that a nice tight pull. And so we'll do the same thing right here, pull nice and tight, stick that down, and then this is the one, that's where that cutout is for that cable right there. One pro tip for you is that when you're sticking that Velcro, that felt to the Velcro down back there, right before you stick it down, get the seat in the position that it typically stays in, which is about this position, or kind of the middle position right here, kind of the seating position. So that way when the seat adjusts back, adjusts forward, it won't pull this bottom seat cover too far in one direction. So it's best just to kind of get it in the middle seating position, then stick that Velcro down. So once you've stuck that Velcro down there, then you can attach up the back seat bib. Again, this back felt piece. And you just reach underneath, there's those plastic clips, you just reach them underneath, hook them onto a metal bar there, hooks back on, you're good to go. Now what we're gonna do is take this back part of the seat cover. If you have full coverage here, you wanna make sure this is covered so kids and the dogs aren't getting the backside of your seat dirty. And what we'll do is just kind of finish lining this up, try to get this seam over a little bit more just so it's looking good there. And then we're gonna take this Velcro right here and stick that down to that carpet, the backside of that bib piece right there. Okay, like that. And I'm gonna finish using my other hand here to get that straightened out and stuck on the backside there. Last step that you're gonna do on the backrest is attach up the side airbag blowout section here. There's 3 tabs, and I've already stuck these 2 upper Velcro pieces. And now what we're gonna do is just pull this together, stick that Velcro together there. And I also like tucking it underneath the seat right there as well. So then we got that all attached up there. Okay, the backrest is done. Now we're gonna move on to the headrest. So here's the headrest, here's the front side, and here's the headrest cover. Front side here with the deer logos on it. And so we're gonna open this up And I often like taking the headrest covers, turning them a little bit inside out here, and then pulling it over and then kind of unraveling it at the end here. So what I'll do is take one hand and compress down, and then take the other hand and start to slide it over. The compression piece is really helpful to get this cover on. They are nice and tight covers, so just take your time, kind of flipping it back and forth like this as you slide it on. If you try to get like one side all the way on before the other, then it just doesn't work as well. Just go like that, doing a couple inches at a time, then I'll flip it. Okay, so I have this pretty close to the bottom. I'm about ready to unravel this now. So what I'll do here now is I'll unravel this portion, roll that out like that. But you can see we're not done yet. We need to finish getting the rest of this slack outside of it, okay? And you can either continue to work it down like this, or sometimes what I like to do is go in on like a carpet, or in the garage I'll show you here just a view of where I can set it on some carpet and then push that down and finish getting this smoothed over. But essentially what we're going to be doing is taking your hands and just kind of massaging over the cover to get the rest of this slack out. That helps a lot to get the seat cover to really conform and take the shape of the headrest here. So I'm going to show you a view of that, kind of finish getting the rest out there. So here's how you can finish getting that out, by putting on some carpet like this and then really pushing down like that and pulling right there. And taking your hand and just rubbing over it like that. And I can feel now we're getting the rest of that slack out right there, okay? You can do that a few more times. Pull that out like that, right there. That looks a lot better. Last little thing we're gonna do on the headrest is just attach the Velcro underneath here. Stick it down like that. Okay, then we're good to go on the headrest. We're gonna get this back in here. You want to push that tab in right there as you're getting it back in. Release them and get them back in and push those tabs. Okay, so that's all done. We're gonna move to the back row now. All right, so we're on the rear seat now, and the first thing that we're gonna do is the rear 60 backrest. As you can see, I've already pulled the headrests out. There are little push tabs. You want to push those in to release the headrest. I pulled out the middle headrest and the outside headrest. Again, I've already done the 40 section over there. That's the easier part of the install. The 60 is a little trickier, but once you have done the 60, you'll be able to do the 40, no problem. This rear bottom seat's gonna come up. So pull this seat up first, right there. That's gonna give us access then to pull this tab right here, and that's gonna pull your 60 backrest forward now. And then what we're gonna do now is get the cover. Here's the seat cover right here. And on this particular design, since the seat belt actually comes out of the seat cushion itself, that's built in, and there's gonna be an accommodation made for that. And so you can see this, there's this big Velcro section down the middle. And what we're gonna do is open that up right there. Also open up these Velcro pieces down here. We're gonna fit this over this section here. Now, just to kind of guide me and make sure this is all fitting how I want it to into place, I'm going to take these headrest posts, tuck that around right there. Also do that one right there. So they should tuck under like that right there. And now what I'm going to do is continue to pull this over and around, and then I need to get in and pull that other side down here. Now I'm going to take the trim tool, and I could have used it around these right here, but they were a little easier. You take that trim tool and finish out these headrest post sections right there as well. There we go. So we got that tucked around. Now what we're going to do is take this seat belt, make sure that's on the outside now, and then we can attach this Velcro back together right there. Oh, the other thing I'll do too right here is there's this tab right here. That tab is what you're going to pull to get the seat down, and we want to make sure that's out and released so it's easy to pull the seat down when you need to get that down. All right, so we got that Velcro stuck together right there. Again, the seatbelt's gonna be coming down right over that, but that's where it attached right there now. And what we'll do now is make sure everything's lining up here on the back. And it is, that's looking good there. What we're gonna take is take this felt right here, push this around to the back. And that felt pushes through back here, and then we're going to take that felt and stick the Velcro to this felt. Okay, now we're going to take that felt, stick it to this Velcro. I'm giving that felt a nice tight pull before I stick that down. And I'll do this last one right here as well. Pull that, stick her down. Okay, so that's all stuck together now. And that backrest is looking good. I'll just kind of go over it a few times, make sure everything is nice and smooth over the seats there. There are child seat seat attachment bars. Those are accessible right there. Seat belt, still use that. Headrests are all trimmed out. Perfect, so the 60 backrest is done. Now we're gonna move on to the 60 bottom. All right, so we're doing the 60 bottom now. This piece right here, again, you're gonna wanna flip it up like this to get it in a spot that's easy to put the cover on. And then we'll start fitting the cover over. The straps are gonna be towards the back side. The drawstring's gonna be towards the back side as well. And this one's a little easier than the backrest actually, because you just need to fit it on here and then cinch up these straps and buckles. Okay, good. So that's fitting on just how I want it there now. Not pulled too far forward or back. The other thing we'll want to do too is there's a little slot right here to feed the pull strap through right there, and we want that accessible so you can still lift the seat up and out. Okay, so now once we have it like that, what we can do is we can start attaching up the drawstring and then also the straps and buckles. I'll actually do the drawstring first this time. And again, just like we did on the seat bottom on that driver seat, we're going to tie a noose in one side and then we will tighten it up. So we got that right there. Come over with this other one. Pull that nice and snug there. And I'm just kind of looking down here on these corners, front corners, to see how snug I can get it there. That definitely snugged up. That's looking good. I can feel it down there. It's nice and taut. So now what we're gonna do is just pinch this off right here and tie this off right there, like that. Okay, now what you can do is, since I did that string first, you can take these straps and go on the outside of that, just to get that string a little bit tighter to the seat bottom. Wouldn't be required doing that, but it's kind of nice doing that. Now the straps go into the buckles, just like we did the front seats. You're going through the middle slot and then the outside slot. You're pulling that nice and snug, and you're gonna go across and do that to all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buckles. It's like, so here's a better view so you can see what was going on as I was tightening up these straps. Again, these straps right here were coming down to these buckles, cinching that tight. And this far strap, or this far buckle actually, was kind of trapped in the seat cover, and I just needed to reach in and release it there. But now that we got all the buckles exposed and the straps cinched up, what we can do now is, if you'd like to leave a little bit of extra slack still on your straps, you can just tie some knots in them like that. So then they just stays a little bit cleaner underneath here. You could cut these and take like a lighter and burn the ends just so it doesn't fray out. But most of the time what I'll do is I'll just wrap them around like that. Leaves extra strap. You probably won't need it, but just leaves it like that. Kind of cleans it up a little bit better, like that, there. Okay, so we have those all attached down now, like that. And so what we'll do now, oh, and you know, the other thing I did is I took some scissors and did trim off these extra. They were a little long, and so I just trimmed those a little shorter. Okay, so that should be it on the 60 bottom right there. Now, when you're pushing this back in, you will want to take your seat belts and lift your seat belts up and out here. They just pull through the backrest and bottom right there. So there's your seat belts. Okay, so you have those out. Now we're gonna finish with the headrest. So a quick note about the rear headrest here is this is the front side right here. It's kind of a weird shaped headrest. Like looking at it, you might think that this is the front right here, but this is actually the front. You can tell by seeing the stitching. It matches just like the front seats. The stitching portion is on the front side right here, and your headrest will actually not click in the right direction if you don't have it. If you don't have the front side flipped around right. So we're going to take this front right here, we're going to pull this over and attach that seat cover on right there. All right, so just like the front seats, we're going to take this rear headrest cover, flip part of it inside out like that right there, and then start to pull this over. Again, make sure that you have the front side on the front side of the seat cover on the front side of the seat. And again, you can tell with that stitching right there. That's the front side right here. We're gonna start to pull that over. Again, you can do that technique where you put it down on the carpet if you want to as well. But that's the main thing on this, is just compressing with one hand and pulling with the other. Okay, so we're pretty close there. I'm going to start flipping this over now. And again, you can see there's still that slack up here that we need to push the rest of the cover down, get that slack out. Okay, so that's looking pretty good, but I can also tell that this seam is a little far shifted towards the left, and so I need to rotate the whole cover to the right. And so what I'll do is slide my hands over the headrest like this, shifting the cover that way, and that will slide the entire cover that direction. Okay, so we're getting a little bit closer there, pretty dang close actually, so that might do it there. Gonna do one other little thing. This is just a thing I do. You don't need to do this, but there's a little extra. It's the excess. It's the fabric excess when you sew together, and I like to get that all in one direction. So this fabric excess, I'm going to push on the outside right here. So it's going to like bump up with just a little bit right here. And depending on the headrest and in the situation, sometimes I may go on the front side, but in this case, I'm going to go on the outside. I think it looks a little bit better in this case here. And just get that excess to the outside. Again, that is something that's just a fine little detail, kind of a pro tip, but you would not need to do that to still have a nice fitting headrest cover. Just another little tip there for you. So I'll get that lined up there, make sure all the excess is one direction. Do the same thing on the top here. Okay, and I can get this pulled down a little bit more just to pull out a little bit more slack out of that top. And I'll actually take this over to the carpet and just finish out that top portion, just kind of make sure everything is slid down as much as it'll go. And then we'll attach up this Velcro down here and we'll be good to go. So there's the cover finished out right here. You can see the bottom on there. Nice and tied up here as well. That last little bit that I pushed down onto the carpet and pushing that in did help. And sweet, so that's looking good. We can get this one loaded into the backrest now. All right, so this is the middle headrest. piece right here, and I have the cover on it right here. You're gonna see the cover has a little bit of a taller side and a shorter side. Okay, so that taller side is gonna be the front right here. You can see how that's like, it needs more fabric for that taller piece right there, and then it's gonna be shorter back here. Okay, so we're gonna get this over, and this has an elastic that does the majority of the work holding this on here. So just fitting that over like that there. And then what I'll do is just fit that over and attach that Velcro together right there. There we go. So now that's fitting on nice how I want it right there. And this Velcro right here, that'll help to just kind of pull these two pieces together. So just the front and back. Sometimes it gets like a little pucker, but that will then pull that a little bit tighter on the front right there. And what I'm going to do before I attach that down is I'm going to trim this a little shorter. It's just a little bit too long. I'm just going to trim it to about right there, and then I'll stick that on. Okay, so I got that attached down right there. Here's the front, the side, back like that, and that's looking good. So we're going to get that pushed into the back of the headrest, center of the headrest there, and that wraps it up for this install. Thanks so much for watching this video. Again, this has been Neil here with Covers and Camo, your source for custom seat covers. To see more, jump over to coversandcamo.com. We're happy to answer any questions that you may have. And you can get an order built up for your vehicle by going again to coversandcamo.com. We offer seat covers for trucks, Jeeps, cars, SUVs, and UTVs. So if you have a vehicle you're thinking about getting seat covers on, go over to coversandcamo.com. We'll help you out there soon. Thanks.